Big guns and the strong but cute anime heroines who wield them. It's been a staple in anime and manga for as long as manga and anime has been popular. Throw in a white tiger as her trusty partner and you have yourself a winning combination. Unfortunately, we don't actually get Buckle with this release and I'm okay with that. Although they could definitely make it happen. I mean, if we get a Bond with the Spy Family line, I think a fully articulated tiger with some accessories for Mina and Reno, which they are sorely lacking of, could be possible. Make it happen, Tamashii. Ashiro Mina is the third release in the Kaiju No.8 line and retails for 8,000 yen or about $60 depending on where you buy it at this current conversion rate. She came out at the end of June and will probably start hitting the States in a couple of months. I've been seeing Kaiju No.8 Target pickups on some people's Instagram reels recently, so Mina is probably on her way. So let's get the negative out of the way first because one, it's unavoidable at this stage and I know Mina was already up for release with the previous two Kaiju No.8 releases, and two, I hate harping on the negative, but I will call it out when I don't like something. So like Reno, we have little to no ab articulation, no crunch going forward. Okay, well, the slightest, most insignificant movement going forward. Waist articulation is limited, so no side to side, but we do get some movement going back, and this is a rare case when a character actually needs some decent movement bending back. Mina's signature weapon is her huge ass cannon, and to counterbalance all that weight, even though she does have her combat suit, her posture is bent slightly back when she fires it, which also helps with the actual figure as well. But again, no movement going forward or side to side. The second thing I'm not too happy about are the lack of rifle, pistol, and hands to wield them, which I guess makes sense. No guns means no gun wielding hands. Yes, we get her awesome cannon and visor, but again, extra weapons would have been nice. I mean, of course, I will be posing Mina with what she's known for, but she doesn't always use this on the battlefield. I want some group shots with her and the boys with just the standard issue stuff. Yes, you can borrow Reno's rifle and hands, and yes, you can use the pistol from the figire Kikoru, but come on guys, we need more weapons. Okay, so now that we've gotten past the bad, let's move on to the good stuff. The designers in charge of this line has really got it down pat when it comes to the overall aesthetics of the figures. Yes, all of our troopers have the same uniform design, but they've done a really good job in giving each character their own unique body type. And it's more evident now with the upcoming Kikoru release. Even without Shinomiya in hand, you can tell that they're totally different sculpts. Shinomiya has a smaller frame, but Mina is a little bigger, a little taller, and has more of an athletic build. The details on the combat suit are spot on, nice, sharp, sculpted details. The logos on her shoulder pads are crispy, clean donuts, and all of her pouches and pistol holster are on ball joints which move with her articulation. You've got all the cuts in the right places, and they don't break up the sculpt. All in all, beautiful aesthetics, spot on proportions, and did I mention a gorgeous head sculpt with 3 options for the faceplates? Mina isn't the most expressive character in the anime/manga, but I think what we get here really captures who Mina is. You have your standard cool, calm, and collective expression, the one that she wears 90% of the time, but we also get an expression when things are getting hot and heavy. The eyes say it all. And this faceplate here has a lot of emotion behind it. But I think my favorite one would have to be the soft but subtle smile. You don't see her smile much, but when she does, this is exactly how she looks like, and we can kind of reference that to last week's episode. We also get her visor, which you can use for any one of her faceplate options. So there really isn't too much in terms of paint apps, just a bit of silver on the zip, and that's pretty much it, which is a good thing. No paint rub, and speaking of paint imperfections, I haven't had any issues with the joints or plastic quality. Everything feels pretty good so far. Even with her big cannon, Mina holds it pretty securely and no stress or strain on the joints. Alright, so let's take a look at Mina's articulation and just checking, no cat around. Okay, good, let's begin. So, Mina's head, she looks up, yeah, pretty well. More than enough, I guess, for looking up at a giant kaiju. Her ponytail is on a ball hinge, so you can spin it around and, you get some dynamic windswept poses. I guess that's the advantage of having like a ponytail or long hair. with figures. You don't really, I guess, need a windswept hair option. It's already articulated, so you can get some dynamic poses out of that. Mina looks down about that much, side to side rotation, and she does get some really good left and right head tilt. Great neck joint that gives her that really good range in the head there. So for the shoulders, past 90 degrees, which is good. Butterfly joints are okay. Actually, no, they're pretty good. She can bring her arms in, touch both hands. I like that. I mean, if she had gun-wielding hands, she could, hold a rifle with both hands. But at the moment, she'll have to borrow Reno's hands. These shoulder pads are soft, rubbery pieces. They don't move with the actual shoulder joint there. I wish they would. Kind of like slide back and forward, but they don't. They just they're on these kind of like rubbery tabs, just like Reno. So they just kind of move up and down. They're kind of floating. She has a bicep cut, 360 at the shoulders as well. Forgot to show that off, but fantastic double elbows. That's really, really good range. I really like that. And of course your swivels and hinges as well. Pretty much non-existent ab crunch going forward, but we do get a bit of crunch going back, bit of movement going back, and she needs it to kind of balance her giant cannon. There is like a bit of side to side twist there in the upper torso. Not really too much going on side to side for tilt. And yeah, I mean, it's better than Reno, but we do get like a slight bit of waist twist there. So not the best. I mean, if you use both joints together, I guess that's as much as you can get, which is kind of a shame. But let's hope Kikoru, the upcoming Kikoru, gets better range there. For legs, once you move these pouches out of the way, just give me a second. That one's kind of stuck there. All right. Once you move the pouches out of the way, it's not bad, but it's not the full splits either. Pretty good. She has an upper thigh cut. Kicks forward. Pretty good. Doesn't kick back all too much because of her sculpted butt. We've got double knees. Pretty good range there. I like that. Feet go down really well. Feet go up pretty decent as well. You get your toe hinge. These are kind of armor pieces there on the front of her foot. They are on a ball joint, so they do move around, which is nice. And you do get some really, really good ankle pivot. Oops, there we go. There goes the armor plate. So again, I mean, I like everything about the articulation except the torso. If they can fix that one thing, this would be a fantastic figure. But I mean, on its own right now, it's not bad. You still can get Mina, Reno in some pretty good poses. It's just they really need to fix that torso section. For accessories, I'm willing to be a little bit more lenient with this release since it comes with a huge ass cannon. But in saying that, again, like with Reno, I really do wish they could have included the full gear for Mina. Pistol, rifle, multiple gun wielding hands, and a gas mask. Luckily, you can use Reno's trigger hand and rifle, and if you picked up the Figuarts Kikoru, the pistol also fits in perfectly. But for hands, we do get 2 fists for knocking some sense into Kafka, a pair of relaxed hands, and a set of hands to hold the T25101-985 cannon. The 1985 at the end sounds like it has some kind of significance to it, but Maybe the canon was made in 1985? I don't know. Just thought the numbers were a little bit interesting. Anyway, huge ass kaiju stopping cannon. Is it cool? Yes. Can Mina hold it without toppling over? Maybe if you're good at balancing figures, but for everyone else, there's a little stand to hold up the barrel of the cannon, which makes it a lot easier to pose. And for those really tough full court buzzer beater shots, Mina also gets her trusty visor to help her aim better. The visor wraps around her head and attaches to a waist pack connected via some soft plastic tubes. Pretty cool design. So Tamashii also threw in an extra faceplate for Kaiju No.8. It's kind of similar to the one looking off to the side faceplate that we already get with the actual Kaiju No.8 release, but this one here has more of an unhinged, menacing expression. The left eye is wider and more dilated, and he just looks a bit more pissed off. Really enjoying these extra faceplate goodies, and the next one we get with Shinomiya should be a banger too. It's the one with Kafka's left human eye exposed. Awesome stuff. So I think overall, as a line, the Kaiju No.8 series is off to a pretty strong start. We're now past the initial 3-figure test phase, and I think the general consensus amongst collectors is pretty positive. I've seen a ton of Kaiju No.8 photos on Instagram, and with a pretty popular weekly anime to back it up, I think we'll continue to see more from this line. I mean, we already have 2 more figures on the way, and both look amazing, especially Kaiju No.9. But like I said, with my Reno review and this review too, I hope we get improvements as the line moves forward. Again, it's a strong line, but with just a few more refinements with the articulation and maybe a few more accessories, and they don't actually have to come with the figure itself, maybe spread it across several releases, the Kaiju No.8 series probably can be up there with the likes of the Naruto line. Mina is a good figure, we just need a little bit more from Tamashii to call her great. I was serious about the Tiger release, Buckle, that really needs to happen. But right now, I'm happy with how my shelf looks. It's starting to fill out nicely, even with some figurize mixed in there. I think there is a lot of potential here, especially with what they've shown us with Kaiju No.9, but I'm also really curious to see where the line goes from here. I think Hoshina is next, but do we go monster art size next, or I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. Likes and comments are always appreciated. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one, which should be Makima from Chainsaw Man, and I know I keep saying it'll be the next one, but to be honest, I have been kind of putting her off. I won't get into why, but yeah, it'll probably be Makima next. Alright guys, have a good one, and as always,
Yoroshiku!